Welcome to Find It in Fergus Falls. I'm Lisa Workman with the Fergus Falls Area Chamber of Commerce. Well, today we've got a special guest on our show who's going to tell you how to protect this. And not from dropping it or driving over it or having it slide off the top of your car, but protect the information that you carry with your device, your laptop, your home Wi-Fi. We're going to hear all about that from Ken Budd here with Park Region. I also want to share with you some great information that the Chamber will be offering, some fun networking events. You'll be able to find all the details at fergusfalls.com and click on our events calendar. And some of the things that you'll find out about are we have our Fall Connect for Lunch going on Tuesday, November 9th at Northern Air Lanes at 11:30. Just show up for a chance to meet some great folks in our community, enjoy a great lunch at Northern Air Lanes, and get a chance to win a gift card from Northern Air Lanes. So that's 11:30 on Tuesday, November 9th. Then on Veterans Day, Thursday, November 11th, we will be co-hosting Chamber Cafe with LB Homes, and we will be downtown Fergus Falls at a Center for the Arts. Chamber Cafe, if you haven't been to the event, is a great networking event, chance to get updated on some great community happenings and activities that are going on in and around our community. Plus, you'll hear from some of our fantastic Chamber members and get an update about what's going on in their business. Chamber Cafe, Thursday, November 11th, starting at 7:30 in the morning at a Center for the Arts, and everyone in the community is welcome to attend. It's $5 if you are a Chamber member and $10 for general public. And then the following Thursday, we are offering a workforce workshop, giving our employers tips and tricks on how to be an employer of choice. We are bringing in a trainer, Mike Hankey. We have partnered with Greater Fergus Falls to host a workshop on Thursday, November 18th at M State. Registration starts at 7:30 in the morning, and the class will wrap up before lunchtime. So check out the Chamber's website at fergusfalls.com to find out more information about these fantastic events and learn more about our Chamber members. Speaking of Chamber members, Ken Budd is going to be joining us to show us how to protect our devices, so stay tuned.
Digital Dilemmas presents
The Basement Dweller. What lurks in the far corners of your basement? Reduced Wi-Fi coverage.
Instead of having your router in the basement, it's actually better to place it in a central location on the main floor. If this isn't possible, a Wi-Fi extender can help to improve the signal throughout your house. Stay tuned for more digital dilemmas.
Well, welcome back to Find It in Fergus Falls. We are joined here in studio, here at Park Region with Ken Budd from Park Region. So yeah, just a long way, a long hike to get here today into the studio. But you guys, you've been working behind the scenes on some things that is going to offer some protection for folks as they have internet and Wi-Fi and connectivity in their homes. But first we should talk a little bit about why, like what goes on back there in the, like either the dark web, or what are some things that, you know, bad things that can happen when it comes to the internet and Wi-Fi and issues, problems, things like that.
Yeah, so with when it comes to security, I mean, every place we work at, there's a level of security that we have.
Right.
So there's always, you know, most businesses have they've implemented some policy for, you know, to keep the bad guys out of the network, secure your data. And so when you kind of look at security and when you look at how to guard your data from the black hats, they call them. So the internet, there's black hats and there's white hats.
Okay.
So the black hats are
hats, not cats.
No, hats.
Okay, hats.
So the black hats are the bad hackers.
Okay.
And the white hats are the good hackers.
Oh.
So there are bad and good, and some will say they're all bad.
Yeah.
So like the white hats, they will hack you, but then they'll tell you,
sure,
hey, we found this vulnerability, you need to fix it. The black hats will hack you, and then they won't tell you, and they'll use that data against you.
And they can, I mean, it's really, I mean, that's one of the most valuable kind of currencies we have today is data, information, personal information, that type of stuff. People, you know, with identity theft, as well as just, you know, theft from bank accounts, especially nowadays when you think about how much is being done online, whether it's having your access. I should have a phone here, but you know, your bank account access, people doing shopping. They've got their homes connected with their Nest and their Ring and all those different things like that. That there's a lot of information that people could have access to.
Yeah, your data is really valuable. Facebook, I mean, their whole model's based off your data.
Right.
Google, their whole model's based off your data. And so our data is extremely important, and I don't think we fully realize how important it really is. You know, you look at these multi-billion-dollar companies that have literally their profits have been driven off of their customers' data,
right,
and what they can do with that. And most of it is advertisements and things like that. However, you know, if you look at certain instances when it comes to ransomware attacks, when it comes to what happened with Experian, I believe it was. So when you look at some of these hacks that have taken place where, you got, 50 million Americans where their private data has been leaked out to some unknown entity, yeah, that's a problem. And so how do you secure that? So you've got, everybody's dealing with it.
Right.
Every company's dealing with it, large or small. So we're all having to deal with how do we really have that mindset to secure the data that we have in our, not just in our homes and our businesses, everywhere we go. And
everywhere in between too. And you think about, the way COVID has switched and shifted and pushed technology, ramp things up even faster where people were working from home, school from home. You think of the physical movement of devices, whether it's a laptop or a tablet, from work to home and back, or school and back. There are certain protections that were set up, but again, you've got all these devices that are now interconnected. Once they leave your home or your work, they're coming back and they may not be protected as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest issues that happened during COVID. So, you've got this workforce that's really just centralized in all these offices, and then COVID hits, and now this whole workforce is now pushed out to the home.
Right. Here's your laptop, take it home, get to work.
Yeah.
And kind of that was, for many, that was all that was thought of.
And what's interesting is just prior to that, a lot of the businesses were focusing on different policies, like Cisco Systems. They had started to adopt a policy where it's bring your own device. So if you have your own device, you can bring it to work and connect it to the network.
Sure.
And so they had these policies in place to do that. However, not bring your whole house.
Right.
So you go home and now your entire house
Which
could
is
be
connected.
part of the network for some of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
But some of them, they're based upon whatever security levels they had in place. That's kind of where things got a little shaky for.
Right, and things could be brought into your home or office without you knowing it. I mean, now, again, over the last 18 months, we've told our employees that, if you're not feeling well, stay home. If you're sick, stay home. Well, how do you know if that laptop is sick, that's been at their home, infected, has some sort of virus, or is, transferring information one way or another? But here at Park Region, you guys are, ahead of the game here and really helping folks with that. You've got a new product with My Safety Net. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so My Safety Net, it's really an application. It's an app that works jointly with your router. So if you have, it doesn't matter what internet service provider you have, if it's Charter, if it's us, if it's CenturyLink, everybody has some sort of router in place that you connect to that's actually connected to the internet. And so My Safety Net works between your phone and that router. And there is some integration in with the cloud as well.
Sure.
But what it does is it's kind of like a umbrella.
Yep.
And
or a safety net even.
Or a safety net.
Good,
kind of covers. It has a kind of like a whole home data security that's really built into it. And so, when you bring, if you come from work and you come into the house and you start working from home, hopefully the employer will have some type of security policy in place for that laptop. You know, antivirus or something like that.
Right.
And then there might be some technology built in, like a VPN to connect into your corporate network. But how does it safeguard against, you know, your child's laptop or your child's device or things like that? And so that's kind of where the risk comes into play.
Sure.
And so when you look at, a good example would be, Target is a really good example of what happened to Target years ago. And you know, there was a lot of people who were card holders of Target. You know, that data was taken.
Sure.
And it's really interesting how they were hacked.
I know a lot of times people think it's because they swiped a card, or it happened at the cash register. That type of thing.
Yeah, that's, you know,
that's old school.
That's some of it. I mean, sometimes that happens, but it's really interesting. Like with Target, the company that was in charge of their heating and ventilating and air conditioning, their HVAC systems, they had it's called a static VPN, or it was just it was up all the time.
Sure.
So Target is working with this vendor that is connected to their network to oversee their HVAC systems.
Right.
Well, with that, it was through that network. So that HVAC company got attacked, they got hacked, and then the black hats, the bad guys, they go through that same system into Target and then take all this credit card information. And that's an interesting thing. It is, because when you look at like the dark web, you know, you look at the internet and the actual usable internet that we have. You know, 20–30% of the internet that we actually interface with is what we call the internet.
Yeah.
That's really, there's about 70–80% of the other internet out there. So
the stuff we don't see.
So we're only really dealing with the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the internet.
And there's so much.
And it's growing all the time.
I haven't gotten to the end of it yet.
Right.
Like, I haven't seen it all.
No. Probably you'll never see
Probably not.
all of it. But you can go online and you can buy credit cards, credit card numbers online. If you
all
know,
on the dark web.
On the dark web, if you know where to go. You can buy attacks. So like, let's say you're a gamer and you've just spent the last 4 months building up your character, and somebody comes and literally wipes out 4 months of work that you've put in to this character. You can go online. If you know the person's IP address, you can go online and purchase a denial of service attack, which will knock that person offline. So there's a lot of different things.
Sure.
That if you know where to go, you can purchase services that can, you know, do harm to
wreak havoc on someone's life or a business or.
And when you do, like if you purchase a denial of service, you know, it can damage an entire ISP's network. It can bring down their entire network at times. So depends on how much money you want to spend.
A lot of bad stuff that can happen.
Yeah.
And there are ways for folks to protect it. So explain a little bit about how the My Safety Net works, and then some of the benefits too, because it's more than just protecting data too. You can have some additional parental controls.
Yeah, so when it comes to My Safety Net, it actually detects vulnerabilities, and so it acts like a Wi-Fi, or not a Wi-Fi, but an antivirus. And so if there's if you come in on, you know, you have a child that comes into your home and they open up their laptop and there was a virus on it, you're going to get alerted on your phone.
Sure.
And say, hey, you know, little Johnny's laptop has just been detected a virus.
Yep.
And then you have a decision. What do you want to do with it? You can block that. You can now just completely block that laptop from being on the network. And so that's one nice feature. You can just shut it down. Then you can go and diagnose what the problem is.
Sure.
Normally, if anything that has a virus, you just want to disconnect it from the network right away. And that's what this enables you to do that. because when it comes to like Wi-Fi, how do you disconnect Wi-Fi from the network?
Right.
You know, a Wi-Fi device. I mean, you have to shut
Everything's
down
connected.
the Wi-Fi on the device, which for most people that can be really difficult.
Right.
So here you just push a button and it blocks that traffic.
Literally an app on your phone that you would see that. And you know, I think sometimes too that it's of course a lot of those viruses and things that could come in on a device, it's unknown that it's even there. You know, you think of teenagers all getting together and they're going to get together and hang out, and they've all got their phone and they're connected onto the Wi-Fi, and you know, you simply don't know where, you know, if it's got something bad attached to it or not. And
No, you
the
don't
user
know.
probably doesn't know either.
No, I had my son come over and he doesn't live with me, but he came over to visit, and every time in the past everything was fine. He comes over, plugs in his laptop, and I get a peer-to-peer message or a BitTorrent type message saying, hey, this device. Well, first I got a notification that says, hey, you know, your son connected to your network. It's
Yep.
like, okay, well, I know he just connected to my Wi-Fi. And then the second one is, hey, I just detected this type of traffic coming from your son's computer.
Yep.
And I immediately shut his computer down.
Right.
Because I don't want that traffic
Getting
being generated out
all
there.
over everything. Right.
It's
too.
just what it'll do is you know, if I have a 10 meg internet connection, 100 meg internet connection, what that will do, that type of it'll fill up that pipe. And so then all my data's slow and I'm wondering what's going on.
Right.
Then I'm going to call the ISP. I'm going to say, hey, you know, your internet's not working, when in fact it was
It's something
laptop.
else. And that's one way that things can be detected too, is through this new service with My Safety Net. It's like, okay, we know where the problem is.
Yeah, it actually, the nice thing about this is it really puts the control of your home network in your hands. Right now, most of us with our home networks, we think we have control, but we really don't. We don't. We plug in a camera, or
Right.
we have multiple devices connected to it.
Alexa.
And we think, we think we have control because we know where these devices are at and we know how they're connected to our network, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And so for us to just stop the traffic, we have to go and unplug it, or we have to try and disconnect it. So like, think of a wireless video, like a Nest camera, for
Right.
example, that runs on Wi-Fi. How are you going to shut that down if you needed to shut it down right away? You'd have to go and unplug it
Right.
and just power it down completely. So we all think we have all this control and we're all safe, but in reality, that's really not the case. And so what My Safety Net, it gives you that control over your home network.
Sure.
And I think it's very similar to how the IT staff at your work has control over that network. You're just taking that control and you're bringing it home, and you're giving yourself the ability to control what's going on. And so some of those elements of where you get to, you know, kind of manage your network is like, for example, you know, gaming. You don't want your child gaming all night long.
Right.
So you can set up a time of day rule and say, okay, I only want my child to be gaming you're allowed to game from 3:30 to 5, or you do your homework, you get your homework done, you can game from 7 to 9, or
Right.
whatever. And so you allow them that, but then after that, their Xbox or whatever device they're on will shut off. So they can't get access.
They can't. Right. Which is nice too, because for parents to try to keep track of a lot of the devices between, like you said, between gaming and them watching YouTube. And, you know, when I was a kid, it was, you know, you're not going to watch TV all day. Well, that's not it. We don't see that in today's kids. They're not sitting in front of the boob tube, as my
No.
dad called it, but they are.
No, they're usually doing
Yep.
this or
Yep.
doing this. And,
Yep.
and a lot of adults are doing this as
Right,
well. you
right.
know,
So, you know, that would be a nice way for parents to have some control over what's happening and that type of thing too. So, if folks are interested in learning more about My Safety Net, where can they get more information, and then what's the process for getting it set up and installed?
So yeah, all you need to do is just call in to one of our offices, whether it be in Underwood or Fergus Falls, and one of our customer service representatives will assist you.
Assist you with all the details and
Yep.
get it set up, and it's a nice feature that can be added on, especially if you've got the managed Wi-Fi, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I gotta say, we have it at our house and we don't even think about it now, and you don't have to worry about replacing a router, or is it the router that's bad? We haven't had any issues to speak of, so.
Well, and that's the other thing with My Safety Net. It comes with a different device, and so if you already are a managed Wi-Fi subscriber, this comes with the latest Wi-Fi technology. So it comes with Wi-Fi 6, and so what Wi-Fi 6 does is it allows more devices to connect at higher speeds. And so
who doesn't want that?
Exactly. Everybody wants higher speeds.
Absolutely. Well, it's a great new feature, and I know as folks are starting to think about Christmas shopping, there's probably some devices of some sort, whether it's a Google Home device or a new tablet or an upgraded, even when you think about the connectivity of our,
all the
smartwatches and whatnot, those I'm sure are on Christmas lists, and if you get this set up now, you'll be protected moving forward. So, well, Ken, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And My Safety Net, nice feature offered by Park Region.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. We'll be back after a little break.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is here with the Park Region My Safety Net app. Welcome home to My Safety Net. The My Safety Net app is designed to easily tailor a custom Wi-Fi experience. The My Safety Net app is simple and intuitive. All features are accessible from the home dashboard. Easily create profiles for people, places, and things. Pause the internet. Set schedules. Run bandwidth tests. Get performance alerts and device statistics. Enhanced features allow you to filter content, prioritize devices and activities, get notified and keep track of web threats, intrusions, and blocked viruses. My Safety Net app. Connect, control, and tailor the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. My Safety Net by Park Region. Call today.
Well, welcome back to Find It in Fergus Falls. I want to thank Ken Budd for joining us today to talk to us about My Safety Net. And I encourage you to get in touch with your local Park Region office to find out more about My Safety Net and how you can protect your Wi-Fi system and your valuable data at your residence. I'm Lisa Workman. This has been Find It in Fergus Falls, and we'll see you again next week.